Hello, and welcome back to Movie Recap Factory. Today, we will give you a recap of an action thriller movie from 2016 titled London Has Fallen. Without further ado, let's get started. Spoilers ahead. The movie starts in Punjab, Pakistan, where a wedding ceremony is going on when we see a man named Kamran going to talk to his father. His father happens to be a very dangerous man, and he is involved in many illegal activities in different parts of the world. This is when G7 intelligence services locate the Pakistani arms trafficker and terrorist mastermind Aamir Barkawi at his compound and authorize a U.S. Air Force drone strike during his daughter's wedding, killing Barkawi's family and seemingly Barkawi himself. The scene then changes to 2 years later, where a man named Mike is in a jogging session with the President of the United States. Mike then makes his way to his own house where he sees his wife, who is about to have a baby. Mike is a Secret Service agent, and since he is about to have a baby, he thinks about getting retired from his job. He even writes his resignation email, and this is when the scene changes to the President, where he receives an urgent call. The President is shocked to learn the news of the Prime Minister of UK, James Wilson. The scene then changes to London, where the top security agencies are having a meeting as they have to make all the security arrangements, as the leaders from the whole world are going to be there at the funeral of the deceased Prime Minister. Mike then makes his way to the office. He sees Lynn, and they tell the President that going there right now could turn out to be dangerous. The President, however, is adamant and goes on to add that his presence is necessary at the funeral. On the other hand, the head of security in London goes on to brief his staff and tells them to be at their best, as they are responsible for the leaders all across the world. Secret Service Director Lynn Jacobs assigns Agent Mike to lead Benjamin Asher's overseas security detail, even though Mike's wife Leah is due to give birth in a few weeks. The entourage arrives via Air Force One at Stansted Airport, and Mike arranges an earlier arrival at Somerset House in London via Marine One. They get there earlier than expected, and the head of the security named John is shocked to see them there. John says to Mike that he should have at least informed him about his earlier arrival, as it could be dangerous out there. The President then makes his way to the palace, and there a man disguised in a police uniform goes on to attach a bomb to the car. The car explodes, and the blast is brutal. After that, people start shooting each other. These are the terrorists disguised as the Metropolitan Police. As the President is about to arrive at St. Paul's Cathedral, a large army of mercenaries appears, and the chaos is now everywhere. Ben and Mike also start shooting the terrorists. Mike right away calls for help and takes cover behind a car. On the other hand, an ambulance comes near the bridge and it explodes. The bridge is not strong enough to bear the blast, and it starts breaking. This is when the Japanese president gets killed. On the other hand, the Italian president is scared for his life, so he hides in the church, much to his dismay. There is a blast in the church as well, and the Italian president is also killed. Amidst the chaos, a car is sent to Ben and Mike. They right away get in that car and drive away. They are also attacked, and one of the men gets killed as well. They, however, still manage to get out of there. One of the men among the terrorists says to follow Ben. They are followed by bikers and some men in a police car, but Mike manages to get rid of them. The car is attacked again, and the driver is killed. A woman named Jacob takes control of the car, and they drive on. More bikers show up behind them, but Mike keeps dropping them, and they somehow manage to keep driving. They finally get to a helicopter and right away get in it and fly away. We see the news reporters saying that in the attacks in London, 5 presidents have been killed so far. This is when the scene changes to the mastermind of the plan, Aamir. He is still alive, and he goes on to talk to his son. His son tells him that he does not need to worry about anything, as everything is going according to the plan. He then goes on to tell his son to take out the power in the whole city. The terrorists, on the other hand, destroy the helicopter's escorts with Stinger missiles, forcing the damaged helicopter to crash land in Hyde Park. Fatally injured, Jacobs makes Mike promise to stay alive for his unborn child and to punish those responsible for the attack. Mike escorts the president into London Underground as the city's power is lost and residents shelter indoors. Mike's wife sees it on the news that blasts are going on all over London City. She gets worried for her husband's life and right away tries to call him, but it does not connect as the power is out in the whole city and there is no service either. Mike and the president get out of the destroyed helicopter and they try to get connected to their security team. However, they are unable to do that as their walkie-talkies have been rendered useless. They see some people approaching, and as the enemy gets closer, Mike and Ben, the president, right away get into the forest. On the other hand, in Washington, D.C., American Vice President Allen investigates the incident with British authorities while trying to track down the president. He then goes on to receive a call from Barkawi, still alive and operating in Sana'a. He tells him that he is doing nothing but seeking revenge for the drone strike that killed his daughter. He tells them of having poisoned Wilson to lure the G7 to London. Barkawi promises to broadcast Asher's execution online in case Kamran captures him. Allen then goes on to talk to the man himself and Barkawi and asks Barkawi if they can get to any terms so that no more lives are taken anymore. Barkawi tells him that if they are ready to hand over the President of the United States to him, he can call off the operation right away. Alan, however, tells him that they are not going to do that at any cost. Back in London, the President is being searched after by the terrorists. Mike manages to kill one of them and takes his weapons. Alan, on the other hand, goes on to order his staff to locate Barkawi's known terrorist operatives and find any connection to the attack, while British authorities stand down all first responders so any left in the open can be identified as terrorists. After leaving a sign to be picked up by satellite, Mike leads the President to an M16 safe house. When they finally get to the safe house, Agent Jacqueline Jax Marshall briefs them. Marshall receives a voice message from Alan that they say Mike's sign and an extraction team is en route. Security monitors display an approaching Delta Force team, but Mike realizes they have arrived too soon and are actually Barkawi's mercenaries. Mike uses the smoke bombs to trap them. When they are unable to see anything, he starts raining down bullets on them. When one of the men tries to attack him with a knife, Mike tackles him to the ground, and it turns out that this man is taking orders directly from Barkawi's son. Mike goes on to speak to the man himself, and he demands nothing but the President. Mike, however, tortures the terrorists in his grasp and goes on to make their boss listen to his cries. After dealing with the terrorists, Mike, along with the President, gets out of there. Alan, on the other hand, says that he does not trust the British security at all. He says that he thinks there is a mole in their security agencies, as without any inside help, this operation could never have been possible. While Mike and Ben are out of there, the President is sad about everything that has happened, and Mike consoles him by saying they're going to kill all the terrorists for doing this. Ben then goes on to order Mike to kill him before he is caught by the terrorists. He says that he does not want to be caught or killed at their hands. Alan tells the British security team to find their President as soon as possible, and the whole city of London has been locked down now. After dealing with the terrorists, Mike and Ben hit the road, but their car is struck before they can reach the United States Embassy, and the President is caught. Alan's staff identify a building owned by one of Barkawi's front companies, drawing massive power despite being unoccupied, and realize it is Kamran's headquarters. Mike joins the extraction team to infiltrate the building, arriving seconds before Kamran can decapitate the President on camera. Kamran escapes when his hacker Sultan Mansour drops a grenade with his dying breath, forcing Mike to protect Asher from the blast. Mike and Asher escape just before the building is destroyed by the Delta Force SAS squad using an explosive that Mike had planted earlier, killing Kamran and the remaining terrorists. Marshall helps British authorities restore London's security system and confronts MI5 intelligence chief John Lancaster, learning that he was Barkawi's mole, having left his security fingerprints in the system. Lancaster claims his motive was to prove that the current military budget left the country vulnerable to terrorism and attempts to convince Marshall to join his cause, but she kills him. Alan tells Barkawi that his plan failed moments before United States federal authorities attack his base with another drone strike, killing Barkawi and every other member of his terrorist group. 2 weeks later, as London recovers, Mike is home spending time with Leah and their newborn child Lynn, named after Jacobs. As Mike contemplates sending a letter of resignation, he watches Alan speak on television regarding the recent events, with a message that the US will prevail. Inspired, Mike deletes the letter. So that was all from the movie. Let us know what you guys think in the comments below, and do subscribe to our channel to view more of our amazing movie recaps. And do hit the bell icon to receive instant notifications from our side. See you all next time.